Hey you guys, this is Lucien for Out of This Binary, and this week's topic is compromising to a binary gender and having to pretend to be a binary gender. That I think, in a way, it is something that we all go through as non-binary people. Uh, it is a special part of my life because, as I have said like 100 times before, here in Brazil, Portuguese is a super very gendered language. So even though I try all the time to escape gendered language, there are some corners you get to in some moments that you have to play either male or female, at least in language. And in general life, I think that also happens because even in places where the queer culture is more widespread, that is not the case in here. I think that still most of the people still see gender as a binary, as the only, especially older people like our parents or something. They still see gender as only male or female, and it is really hard for people to accept that no, maybe it's way more than that, way different than that. So I think in a way we get forced all the time into the gender binary. People, no matter how androgynous we may look, people are going to try to read our coding as one thing or the other and try to understand what we were assigned at birth, what means male, what means female, in how we present, in how we act, in how we look like. But this isn't really what I want to talk about, because I think this is something we all experience in a way and we all know. I want to talk about one of the things that I think it is one of the most beautiful things in being trans, and especially non-binary, but I think all trans people go through that. That is being aware of gender in our lives. I mean, for what I perceive, most people, most cis people, go through life with gender as a natural concept. They don't really realize how gender plays deeply into our lives, because it is natural to them. It is not a question. It is not something they have as an issue. They are comfortable with the way things are. So, oh, this is Brian. Yeah, he's playing. He was eating something. But anyway, I think most people, most cis people, they don't really bother realizing how deep gender plays into our lives. But us, because of being uncomfortable with gender things and gender itself, I think we are way more aware of all those little things in which gender plays, all this mechanism, all this social structure that prints gender into us and that we socially play, you know. And I think this gives us a sort of power that cis people do not have. In most of them do not have. That is to play with those gender structures. I mean, once you realize how little things make you get read as one gender or the other, and how this expectation or that means one gender or the other, and how you know how every little thing you do and you wear and you say and you think, how they always go back to one or other gender, once you realize that, you have the power to take a step back and to consciously act on those things. I mean, that is why what we have to do in our everyday lives to try to escape the gender we were assigned at birth. But I think that we don't have to use this only as an attempt of escaping, like as if we were being chased, or as if it only had this negative connotation. I think we can use this as in a more powerful way, in a more playful way, because we are gonna get forced into the box of gender binary, no matter how hard we try to break them. At least in our lifetime, I don't think that is going to happen. Maybe in the future, I don't know. But in our lives, I think we still are going to get pushed into those two boxes. It's just how things are. And therefore, I think we can play with that, because it is not really about trying not to get read as a gender, because that is going to happen. But I think it's way more about being comfortable with yourself and being happy with yourself. And if other people read you wrong, and they will read you wrong, okay, fuck them, it's their problem. As long as you're happy with yourself, things are already in a good place, and then, okay, you have other things to work on, like respect and stuff. But if you are happy with yourself, that is a very, very good point to start with, So I think that being non-binary and being aware of how gender plays into our lives gives us the power to be playful about it. I think about Chase from the channel Upper Chase. I have mentioned him before, and I'm going to put the link down here. He is such a wonderful example of that, because he's a trans guy, but a very queer trans guy, and he's all fabulous and kittens and unicorns, and it is really cool because he said when he was finding out he was trans, and when he didn't have started transitioning, and or at the beginning of the transition, basically when he was read as a girl, so to say, he was all like trying to be masculine and stuff, and dating only girls. And once he got comfortable with himself, he's all sassy and flamboyant and colorful and really, really feminine, and not at all comprising to the expectations of the male gender, so to say. And he even say he felt more comfortable being attracted to men. But yeah, I'm just using him as an example of how playing with things, like how being aware of things allows us to play and to be more better at who we are, a better version of ourselves, because once you are trapped to the expectations, and you're trying to get read as one thing or the other, you are always going to have to respond to other people's expectations and play gender not the way you want it, but the way other people want, or other people expect, or maybe probably the way other people don't expect. But you are always playing around those expectations, and once you realize that the thing is you're being comfortable with yourself, and that's okay, it's not perfect, it's not ideal, but you are never going to get read as a non-binary person like all the time. you kind of let it go and start worrying about yourself, about being comfortable. And I think that's really a big issue. um, I think it is really, I think we do have to play with those two boxes. They are out there, but we don't have to fit or not fit in them. It's not only about that. We can dance around them, we can play with them, we can twist their shapes, we can do whatever we want with those boxes, because we are aware of how they work and where they are and how they function, you know. And I think that's beautiful. That is one of the most beautiful parts of being trans, like playing with gender, playing and yeah. Well, I think that was basically the message I wanted to to share with you, um, because it's something I took a really long time to realize, and uh, it really felt like beautiful when I understood that. And yeah, so if you, well, please feel free to say things here in the comments if you like to play with gender in a way, if you like to, I don't know, if you share your experiences with us. Yeah, we would love that. Other than that, yeah, I think that's it basically. I'm going to stop talking and going to work because I have to. Yeah, so take care of yourselves, eat your vegetables, drink a lot of water, and hug people you love, because love is really important. Bye bye, sweeties.